Now it's time to introduce you the sequencer, the main tool for animation and for the cinematics. Okay, so you have to come here and to click Add Level Sequence. And now you have to choose in which folder to place it. For example, I made already a folder which called sequencer, and here inside, here I have to choose the name of our sequencer. So this will be our first scene, for example. So I will name it scene 01, for example. And here our sequencer is created. So let's check here in the content drawer again to be sure. And content drawer, okay, we're in the sequencer folder and we have scene 01. Okay, perfect. Now let's open it and let's close the content drawer. And here it's our timeline. Okay, so our timeline is starting from 0 and it's ending at 150. Okay, if you want to extend this timeline to have bigger one, because here are the frames from your animation. If you want your animation, your scene to last longer, you have to come here on the right down side and to write another higher number, for example 0,500. And now by dragging this and stretching it out, okay, and we have to move here to take this red line and to take it, for example, here on 360, for example. And now, when we are moving this with the left button of our mouse, we can see which is this frame. So it's 361. Okay, now our timeline is longer and we can render more frames and our animation to be longer. But for now, I will bring it back to... Okay, I will bring it back here. I just undo older stuff. So I will just make it here 165 like it was in the beginning, and now it's by default here. So the red line always is the beginning, the green line, sorry, and the red line is the ending. So from here you can choose from where to start your animation. Your animation can start from the 30 frame. It doesn't matter, but I will keep it on 0 here. Okay, it's 0, 0. Perfect. Okay, now let's add object here in our scene. For example, here, shapes, and let's add a cube. Okay, perfect. We have a cube. Now we want to animate this cube in our level. We have to find it here inside the outliner. Okay, this is the cube. And to drag and drop it inside the sequencer. Okay, our cube already appeared in our sequencer. And immediately you'll see one menu which called transform. And by clicking this arrow, we'll see location, rotation, and scale settings. Okay, again, one more arrow. And you can see all of the sides, all of the directions which you can move your cube in your scene. Okay, by clicking again the left button of your mouse and drag it on the left on the right side, you can see how we are moving our cube here on the X direction, onto the Y direction, and on the Z direction. Okay, and now how to animate on X direction. For example, we want this to be the beginning place from where our cube will start the animation. So it's minus 648. So let's click here. There is one circle with plus icon inside. Now we have already our first keyframe. Okay, this will be the beginning, the starting place of the animation. Okay, we want now on the frame 60 our cube to move somewhere else on this X direction. So we can move it like that or like that. So I want to be here to minus 334. And now immediately we will appear second keyframe. This time we don't have to click here, because when we already have one keyframe, the second will appear by itself. Okay, so now you can see how our cube is moving here from the 0 to frame 60. Okay, that's nice. And here, let's click this play button. And now you can see, okay, but our sequence, it's long and I want to cut it here, for example. And now our animation will end here and start to repeat it. Okay. Our timeline will end here. Okay, perfect. Let's start. And now you can see it stopped here because we don't have more keyframes. Here is the end, the red line. Okay. Now we want to add another. Okay, I will come here closer from the top. Okay, to see better. And here we'll extend it a little bit more. Okay, to the same keyframe here at the end. Okay, like that. Now the keyframe changed again by itself. We don't have to touch anything. Or if you make it you have to be careful because sometimes when you are not zooming inside, you can place it here and to think this is the keyframe, but this is not the keyframe. Here it's 59. And now you can add another keyframe here and to have a bug, for example, something like that. Now you can see how it's moving faster here because it's not smooth, because it's just next to each other. The two keyframes. I'm sorry. Okay. And here I want to zoom it now inside and to delete it from here. Okay, by clicking the delete button on your keyboard, and now we have a smooth movement of our cube. Okay. Now I want to add another keyframe here. So let's see. I want to make the second keyframe to the Y direction from here, and here to make it on this side like that. Okay. Now you can see how our path, it changed already. Okay, we have this animation now. Okay, we moved it here to the Y direction and we added another keyframe. And that's why we have this changing the direction here in the middle. Okay, we can do the same stuff by the Z direction. So, for example, our Z direction will start from the same place like our Y direction. So, I will add a keyframe here by clicking the plus icon on the Z. And I want to place it here like that to move it up a bit. Okay, you can see how it's going up now. Okay, let's go here from the side to see better. Okay, it's going up and perfect. Okay, here I will move this keyframe here. You can take a keyframe and to move it anywhere you want here, but only on the X place, the X direction here, because the keyframe is through the X direction. Okay, and now I want to bring it back here to the beginning, for example. And let's see what happened. Okay, I just changed everything together, so I will undo it here. It was selected, and that's why we change it. Okay, I will move it back here. Okay, now, and here, I will bring it back like that. Now you can see how we have this path here, which is extended. Okay, and we have this, and here it's moving faster. Okay, I will extend our timeline and to put it here. Okay, and now I want to make it here, for example, see here, to be, okay, like that. So I will add a keyframe here because I want to keep this value here on this Y direction. So between this one and this one will be same, nothing will change. And from here, we'll start moving it like that, for example, and to the end. I will bring it back here to the end. And we have this, and this. Okay. I hope you understood it, guys. Okay, let's continue with the other stuff. So here we have rotation. Let's see the keyframes for the rotation. Okay, let's see what they're doing. So row, it's rowing like that. Okay, pitch, it's on the another way. Okay, and yaw, it's on this way. Okay, let's add a keyframe here. Keyframe here. I will combine this time all of them. And here this will be like that, will be like that, and like that. So let's see our cube, how it's rotating. Okay, it's fast. I want to slow it down, so I will extend the keyframes and we'll move them to the end of our timeline here. and now they will rotate slower because we have a bigger distance between both of the keyframes. So let's start it now. Now you can see how it's rotating. Of course, if you want to change some of them to rotate faster and to stop after that, because here we'll end our rotation on the pitch direction here, and from here to the end of our animation, we want to rotate on the pitch direction. Okay. It's simple. And on the same way, we will make it for our car tires and our car movement. Okay, and we have also for scaling. Okay, now we want to scale it on the X direction again, so I will add a keyframe here. Okay, here I want to extend it like that. Now you can see how it's scaling, and now I want to bring it back to 1 to the end of our animation. So we have this, here it's scaling to 2.578, and here start bringing back by default to 1 to the end of our animation. So let's add another keyframe here. So from here I want to start another keyframe from here to be the beginning, here to make it like that, for example, to make it bigger. Okay, you can see closer how it looks, and again to the end to be 1 only. Okay, we have this. It looks stupid, but it's a good situation which you can see how things works, guys. Okay, and of course we can make it on the Z, so the Z will start from here, for example, will end. We have scaled like that here and to the before the end to make it again 1. So you can also click on them and to write a number you want from your keyboard, or drag them with the left button of your mouse. And now you can see what we have. I will click on it to see the path, and we have this. Okay, and you can start it from here to see the whole animation without any lag, without slowness and everything. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to add a camera inside the sequencer to see how it works with camera. Okay, I will delete a cube now. Okay, when you delete something from the sequencer, you won't delete it from the level. But if you delete it from the level, I will bring it back. If you delete it from the level, okay, yes, now here will be red. So the red means something doesn't exist anymore in our level. And you have to delete it, for example, because you won't see anything, or to bring back the cube with the same name inside the outliner, inside your level. So, okay, now you can see if it's white, it's working. But let's delete it again one more time. If it's red, now nothing will happen here. Okay, now it's time to add a camera. Okay, so here, cinematic camera, camera actor. Okay, this will be our camera. I will rotate it to the car to look and torque Shelby. And now let's find the camera here. Okay, let's place it here. Perfect. This will be the view when you place your camera inside the sequencer. Here the camera cuts will appear on the top side of your timeline. And now when you move it, well, nothing will happen because we don't have keyframes for our camera. So here we have the same stuff, transform location. So I will add a keyframe here to the X. Or if you want to add of all of these directions, you will click here location, and this plus icon will add immediately 3 keyframes of any one of these directions. Okay, now I want to, okay, also you can make some movement with your mouse inside the level, and when you click here, for example, now the keyframes with the changes will happen here. And now you can see how our camera is moving inside our level. Okay, let's make some interesting stuff. For example, we want to start from here, like in our trailer. Don't worry, we will make another scene where we will build it perfect. Now I'm just showing you how to make it. Okay, so here, keyframes. By clicking here, this plus icon here, you're adding keyframes to everything inside the transform menu. Everything in location, everything in rotation, and everything in the scale. Okay, So sometimes it's easier when you place all of the keyframes together and after that to start to make changes. So now we have this. I want to make like that here. Okay, or it's still earlier. So here I will start making like that. We'll add the transform menu here. We'll click it. And now we have this, you can see. Okay, good. And now I want to make, for example, this movement of our camera to be here, and again transform to add all of the keyframes inside, and we have this. Let's start now. Perfect. You can see it's fast. If you want to make it slower, you have to reduce it here by writing, as I told you before, something bigger to extend it. That you have to extend this here, because if you don't do it after that, you won't see anything through the camera. So here is the scene from the camera here, and I will extend them like that here in the middle and here to the end, for example. And now we have like 120 frames. This will be the main range which we'll use for our shots. So now let's start it and to see how it looks. You can see it's much faster and accurate, our presentation of the Shelby. And now let's add again a focus on our camera here to 22, which is the bigger one. Okay, and now we have a focus on our Shelby. Perfect. And we have this camera movement. Also, we can add the keyframes to our current here to the focal length. I will show you. So let's see how it looks, the focal length. Let's increase it. Keyframe here. Okay, focal length is like that, but I want our focal length to bring back by default here 35. Let's see. You can see how it looks. We have some effects inside, or we can make it, let's see how it looks, something like that, for example. And here not to be that much, because okay, something like that. And now you don't have to click again this button, because you are on the keyframe, and if you make changes, it will change immediately by itself. Okay, and we have this. Okay, this is much better. Perfect. And if you want to save it, you have to click here. Okay, here you have FPS. So if you work for the studios, most of the time we are working in 30 FPS, which is USA standard, and 25 for European standards. Okay, I will keep it 30. Here we'll save it, and I will close it now. And content drawer, and here, when you click on the sequencer folder, you will find the scene. And when you click it, it will open with all of the things which were inside, which you created already, and it's through our camera. If you want to stop to be through our camera, you have to come here, and now it's not from the camera. You can see only how the stuff are moving inside our level, how our camera is moving. And by clicking here, again, you'll see through the camera. Okay, another stuff which is important, it's if you have 2 cameras inside the level, or 3 or 4 cameras. So let's add another camera, Cine Camera Acture. So we have another camera here from this angle, for example. Okay, I will place it here like that to be on the backside of the car. So if you want your camera to stop somewhere and to move to a second one, you will come here and you will stretch this, or to cut it here, for example. And from here, you want to start the second camera. So plus icon here, new binding, and here Cine Camera Acture 3. And now you added your second camera inside. And now when you click here to see through the camera, or here, now you can see how it's starting here. Our first camera is ending to the 29th frame. And from there, it's starting our second camera. And it's same if you add another camera. So let's add a third one. I think we have already one in our level, but I don't know where is it. So I will add just another one. Okay, Cine Camera aperture again. So this will be from the top, for example. Like that. And here I'll click again the plus icon and cinema camera aperture 4. And we have this, you can see. So let's add a keyframe to this camera here. So our camera, our third camera is starting from here. So let's add it inside our sequencer. Okay, it's here, perfect. And okay, I will close this one. Here, if you want to add a transform menu to a camera, if you don't see it, you click the plus icon, transform, now you have a transform. So let's add location, all of the keyframes again. Now I want to move our camera, so I will click through this camera here, and now I will move like that. And the keyframes will appear here, and I will extend them to the end. And now through this camera, you will see. Okay, now it's time to add some keyframes to the second one. Okay, here, transform. Okay, let's add keyframes from here to the end. Okay, somewhere here. I will make it this time from here. Okay, and I will place them inside the third camera. They won't do anything to the third camera because it's not into the settings of the third camera. So I just going inside, not to stop the animation at the end of the third one. And when you click here, okay, through all of the cameras, you will see this animation. And we have a small movie. This is how the things works with the cameras inside. And of course, you can adjust the focal length of any one of these cameras. So you have to click here and here, camera component, and here will appear, let's see, we have a lot of stuff here. So it's not camera component. I will delete this setting. We'll click here, scene component, let's see. Okay. So it's okay, it's camera component. Okay, let's find from where. Camera component, and let's see the name, it's current aperture. So you're adding them by yourself. So here, okay, current aperture, now we add it. Again here, focal length, and one more time here. You have a lot of settings which you can add inside. For example, camera shake. In the next lectures, I will show you how to make also camera shake for your level, because it's important for the cinematic look. You have a lot of stuff, but we won't use most of them, only current aperture and focal length here. And focus settings too. And that's everything, I think, for the sequencer, guys. We will learn more during our scenes with the Shelby inside the level on the highway. So see you.